Welcome back. I'm your host, Mr. U. Thank you again for joining us on the All-Purpose Pod for an all-purpose life, wherever you are today and however you're listening today. Call me Mr. U, the podcast. Thank you for making us a part of your morning, your day, and your week. We're your weekly mirror check before you go change the world, baby. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitter. You can download and subscribe to our show wherever you enjoy your podcasts. I appreciate you guys taking the time to do both. Thank you for listening, sharing us, and subscribing. Go change the world. Welcome back, guys. Thanks again for joining us. Hope you're enjoying season 4 thus far. It's been an awesome ride. As you already know, one Thursday out of every month for season 4, we talk about relationships. Usually on a different slant, maybe a different edge to it, but at the end of the day, we're talking about relationships. And this may be one of those episodes that you may feel like you're being cut on. It may kind of be a little tight, but I have to deal with it first, and I really believe that at the end of the day, at the end of the episode at least, you're going to come out feeling a lot better about where things are looking. Your outlook may be a little bit brighter. Hopefully, that's my intention anyway. But I'm excited about you guys getting involved with this with us, and I hope you really enjoy the way you look at the end of the day. Now, I asked a question many moons ago on social media. I asked the question, are you a river or a reservoir? Well, what do those two terms mean? Now, on the surface, they're both bodies of water. Obviously, they both look similar. They're commonly found and naturally developed, but they both contribute something different to the environment. Now, one is a promoter of life. The other restricts or constricts life from growing. Rivers are active and they flow over and through lands to help the growth of crops and plants, obviously. Reservoirs are dormant and without life. They don't flow outward. They don't supply needs to surrounding areas. They simply sit stationary and wait to be filled. But because they have no outlet, they tend to suffocate and choke any life that remains in it. Think about that. Maybe you don't hear the relationship theme there, but it's in there, trust me. Excuse me. If you ask anyone from another era in time that's watching our country right now and our culture from a distance, one of the things they've said, and will continue to point out probably, is the lack of self-awareness. Everybody is so busy doing me and living their best life. They don't even notice the damage left in their wakes. It doesn't even occur to them that they've wrecked somebody's life or somebody else's dream just so they can achieve their own. Their desire to be relevant or comfortable obliterates the basic human needs of some other person that deserves the same liberties and benefits that they have. No self-awareness. They don't hear what they sound like. They don't note the impact of what they say. They just do what they do. They call it being real and true and authentic. It's not. If all of us did that at that same rate of speed, the world as we know it would have imploded decades ago, maybe even centuries ago. Do you promote life-giving initiatives, or do you restrict it so you can feel safe in your space or your tight-knit groups that cater to what you like and what you can accept? River or reservoir? Are you all in or are you all out? Do you freely give or do you freely receive? You know, I share the story from time to time, but about my background because I think it's important to understand me and why this show even got started and the motivation for why I continue to do it on a weekly basis. But I came from a world where the freebie was like striking gold in the 1800s. It was the highlight of everybody's day in my neighborhood and communities just like mine. Some great philosopher once said there's no such thing as a free lunch. No one listened to him. And now look. Is your world centered on what you can deal with and what you can handle and what gives you ease? That's generally where the reservoir begins to form. If there's a void, fill it. It's not enough. Keep filling. I need more of this. It's still not enough. I need more of this. I'm going to add this. I want to add some of this too. And now some more of this. It's still not enough. I need more. People don't generally have time to share and pour out because they're so hyper focused on elevating themselves to a place where they're either comfortable, satisfied, or relevant. If you ask an opinion poll of these same people, almost everyone to a man probably doesn't even realize that they're even doing it. That they're in that kind of rat race or they're in that chase, in that pursuit. They don't even realize it. That's how subtle it is to get caught up in what you want and be focused on you so much and you realize that you don't realize that you haven't invested anything of any substance in anybody else or in any other life. You've just been receiving and taking in. You become a consumer rather than a producer. Self-esteem is never on discount. You always have to pay the full price. I'll say that again for those in the back. Self-esteem is never on discount. You have to pay the full price. There are so many that want and desire relationships, but they see the world around them through broken or distorted lenses. All they're going to see is a distorted view of people in general, motives, and a dream that's fractured before it even starts to come to fruition. They see the world as potential contributors to their cause or to help fill their voids. It's a me-centered society that we're living in right now. They view themselves as good ground to sow seed into, despite what their characters may indicate. We're talking about relationships, baby. These folks that have the reservoir mentality never extend themselves outwardly. They're only interested in what comes into them. It's a conveyor belt kind of mentality. Do you know anyone like that? Be honest about it. I know you're behind a screen or in the comfort of your own home or you're jogging or you're doing the laundry. But are you like that? Is that how you've been functioning lately? Having a reservoir mentality is a one-way trip to self-fulfillment. You never feel as though you're filled. You can get support and help, but you always have a gripe or a complaint. It'll never be enough. It's a hole that just can't be filled. It's basically a brown paper bag with all your goods in it, but a hole in the bottom of the bag. You never hold on to all the things that you think are valuable. The river understands the universal law of sowing and reaping. If you want corn to grow, you need to sow corn into your field. If you want soybeans next year, you sow soybeans this year. If you sow selfishness, discord, and envy now, you reap the same. If you plant seeds of joy, generosity, and abundance out of a heart of compassion, that's what you can expect in your harvest. This is a universal law and it cannot be bypassed. The whole world operates like this. Ask the question if you're a river or a reservoir, and everybody to a man is going to choose river every time. Primarily because no one wants to be the alternative. No one wants to admit that they have a reservoir mentality. And I can't blame you. I get why you wouldn't want to own that. But many of us have that mentality. Come on, y'all. The reason why we're doing this show in the first place, one of the biggest reasons is because we want to be the mirror check before you go change the world. We want to be a place where you can have a different perspective and evaluate your life. Is there a consistent flow outwards? Is generosity synonymous with who you are on a regular basis? Does all resources flow into you and stop right there? People wonder why they don't get blessed or why they're always struggling and they can't create wealth. They can't seem to get ahead, so to speak. It could point to several different things. It could be a specific mindset the person has. If you have a mindset that you're always going to be in poverty, everything you get is going to go right back out because you're going to hoard it because you think you're afraid to lose it because you have a poverty-related mindset. Some people might just have a lack of connection. They might not know the right people who speak the vernacular of abundance or the vernacular of wealth or the vernacular of success. But I add that maybe it's because when resources come into the hands of certain people, their hands are closed. They don't live with open hands. They're not generous givers or sowers of seed. They just want to be given to.